Hi loves, and welcome back to the Traveling Yoga Mat. I'm Amanda, and today we're gonna move into some yoga and movement for tension release. So right away, notice where the body is holding on to tension. Whether it's at the base of the skull, in the chest, in the shoulders, the lower back, the hips, the legs, maybe all the above. Check in with yourself. Just notice this very moment. Briefly noticing everything that you've already accomplished today and everything that is still to come. And just acknowledging and feeling good about that, and then coming back into the in-between, the present, this very moment, the only one that truly exists and matters. Notice your breath and how it's just flowing in and out naturally, doing its best to calm your body, nourish your body. And maybe it feels good to take a deep breath in through the nose. And maybe you hold for just 2 seconds and release it through the mouth, letting it go. And if you're watching this around the time of the August 9th full moon, maybe you care to write some things that you wish to let go of or release or shed from your life. And if you start to think of things you want to let go of, it could very well be energetic rather than physical. And maybe today it's tension that you want to release and let go of. Stressful things may happen throughout our days and weeks, and then we store them in the body, and we just leave them there sometimes, not taking the time to pull it out from where it's hiding and let it go. So can you do your body this service today by clearing anything that feels stuck out? And if you care to write down some things that you want to let go of, I give you this space now to do so. So just take 2 minutes or so. This can be a list. This can be paragraph format. Depends on the kind of writer that you are. I know for me, like bullet points work best. Sometimes hard to pull all my thoughts into one storyline. So you can pause the video here and continue with writing if your thoughts are just flowing, and I highly encourage that. And if you're ready, you can start to flow with me. So let's place the palms on the knees and let all the stale air out of the lungs on an exhale. On your next inhale, let's drop the head back, start to shine the chest forward. Breathe out, start to slowly bring chin to chest. Dome up the spine toward the back of your space. Beautiful. Breathe it in and come through center, shine forward. Breathe out, letting it all go, curling up. Let's do 2 more. Maybe you close the eyes, maybe you keep them open. Beautiful. And notice where you feel that pressure built up. Areas of your body that might need a little more attention today. Take note of it. And then at any point throughout your movement practice, you can always bring a little extra love to that area. Let's take a little seated twist. So we're going to place right hand to left knee, left hand comes behind us. Breathe in and sit tall. Exhale, twist it out. Nice. Let the breath be controlled, equal. And come back to center. Let's reset and take it to the other side. Right hand comes behind us this time. Take a breath in and lengthen. And twist it out. And it's okay that our breath pattern changes subconsciously as we transition through poses. Nice, bring it back to center. And let's go ahead and bring the legs long out in front of us. Bring the hands on either sides of the hips. And just let those hands be a guide for where your hips should be. Mosquito season. And flex the toes back toward you. The fingertips are faced toward the bottom of the mat. And you start at your seat. Notice how you're just anchored gently into the floor. And you notice how your pelvis is stable here. If someone were to try and push your shoulder, you could kind of counteract it and come right back to center. Stabilize the core, soft but strong. Nice. And then just become friends with your breath. Knowing that it's there to help you and heal you. Sometimes it's a struggle to take conscious deep breaths. Let it go, relax the feet, relax the body. And let's bring the arms up overhead and take a breath in. And then gently folding over the legs toward the toes. You can either rest the hands on the toes, on the mat, on the shins. And start to roll the head around a little bit. So whichever direction and shape here feels good to start rolling. You could do some figure eights, you could do circles, but just notice how these subtle movements in the head really release pockets of stress in the neck. And come back to neutral. Sometimes the most gentle, subtle movements can have the biggest impact. And let's remain folded for 2 more breaths. Beautiful. All right, let's roll up and then scooch the hips toward the front of the mat. And we're gonna lower down and just take your time. Maybe you bring the arms out long and slowly lower, lowering from the core. Take your time, but when your body just wants to plop down, just let it. Beautiful. Take a moment here, maybe bring the heels a bit wider. Notice the midline of the body and see if you can imagine all your energies just aligning in the center. And everything that might be asking for your attention outside of you, can you just kind of cut the cable? And allow all that energy to just flow back into your being. Feeling whole, feeling complete. And let's bring the knees in, hug them toward the body, rolling side to side. Find the center and grab for the outsides of the feet. Draw the knees in toward the rib cage. And it always feels good to kind of imagine that the spine is evenly pressed against the ground here. Drawing the shoulders down toward the mat as you get deeper into the happy baby pose. Beautiful. Let's bring it back into center, rock side to side. And let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the mat and then shift the hips toward the left side of the mat. Just drop the knees over toward the right. Sometimes in these twists, I like to keep the hands on the body so that I can really feel how the spine is twisting. And the gaze may be neutral or it may fall to the left. Breathe and find softness. Beautiful. Let's pick it up, back to center, reset the hips, and then shift them to the right side of the mat. Let the knees fall left. An important part of nourishing ourselves is making sure we stay hydrated. I have this cup here to remind me. Oftentimes I may wake up with tension in the head because of the way I slept or grinding my teeth at night. And so the first thing I try to do is drink some water, and a lot of times that takes it down a couple notches. Let's bring it back up to center. Beautiful. Hug the knees in. Let's rock and roll. Oops. Toward the top of the mat. Let's take 3 rolls. And then find your way at the top. Let's cross the ankles and roll over to tabletop. Nice. So feel the hands planted into the ground. Feel the knees and the tops of the feet firmly rooted. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, breathe in. Breathe out. Curling round spine, pushing the mat away. Nice. Breathing in, cow spine. Breathing out, cat. One more round. Nice. And from here, let's flip over the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So pedal out the feet right away, bending up opposite knee, lowering opposite heel down to the mat. Shake out the head. Beautiful. And let's just tiptoe small baby steps toward the top of the mat. Maybe a bend in the knees will help here. Bring the feet about hip width distance and grab for opposite elbows, and let's just sway here. Let the neck be heavy. Maybe even taking chin just another centimeter toward the chest and noticing how that feels in the spine. Visualize the spine gaining space between each vertebrae. Come back to what you wish to release. And just imagine it falling out of the body through the top of the head. Maybe take some little bounces. Shake it out. Dislodge and get rid of it. Beautiful. Let's plant the hands. Let's step back with the right foot and then the left. High plank. Holding this, feel into your strength. Let's take 2 nice breaths here. Inhale. And as we exhale, let's shift forward and lower, bending up our elbows, lowering all the way to the mat. Beautiful. Keep the hands where they are. Let's peel up the head and the chest. Take a breath in and a breath out. Take a breath in and then lower down. Let the forehead rest on the ground. Bring the hands behind you, clasping, interlacing the fingers. And then allow yourself to exhale and relax. As you inhale, peel the head, the chest, and lift the feet off the mat as well. So the belly, the thighs, the hips are making contact, but everything else is lifted. Breathing here. And last breath in. Gently lower down, release the bind, let the tops of the hands rest on the mat, and lower whichever cheek down to the mat. Maybe rock the heels and the hips side to side. Nice. Let your mind relax, making space between each thought. Let's flip it over to the other cheek. Beautiful. All right, let's bring our forearms underneath us. So coming into Sphinx pose here. So the elbows are at a 90-degree angle. Elbows are just under the shoulders. And we can create space between all of the fingers so that our hands are strong. And then subtly engage the core so that a little less of the belly is pressed against the ground. And this will automatically protect the lower back and hug in the pelvis. Notice everything that's making contact with the ground. Notice how this is active, but also gentle. Take a big deep breath. Let it feel good. Nice. Let it go. And let's walk the elbows back, coming into our tabletop again. Let's plant left hand to the center of the mat. Reach the right arm up, little twist, and then exhale. Thread the needle. Rest right temple on the mat. Maybe walk the left hand toward the top of the mat. Breathe, see where you can invite in some more softness. Amazing. Let's start to walk left fingertips back toward the face and then push through left hand Take a counter twist, open it up toward the right, and reset, setting right hand down on the mat. Let's take a cat-cow. Beautiful, let's take it over to the other side. So right hand plants center of the mat, reach the left arm up. Thread the needle, resting left temple on the mat. If you care to walk the right fingertips toward the top of the mat, you may. Keeping the hips in one line. So if you need to shift your weight a little to the right. Relax through the right shoulder, the face. Amazing. Let's walk the right hand back. Use it to help you push up. Spread your wings toward the left and then reset here. All right, come back, sitting on the heels. If you've got water nearby, take a little sip. Amazing. Sit up tall, readjust your feet underneath you. And let's actually flip the toes under. So tuck those toes and then sit back down on the heels. Noticing that intense yin-like stretch of the toes. And then let that go because you can't be there for too long. Breathing. Soften. Bring a smile to the face. Beautiful. Let's roll through tabletop, find our downward dog. And then we're just gonna bring both feet to the top of the mat. Heel toe the feet so that they're wide about to the width of the mat. And then sit the hips down between the heels. Bring the palms together, using the triceps to push the knees out. Nice. And then let's bring the fingertips to the mat. Just take a moment here. And then one at a time, we're going to lower one knee and cross it over, and the other knee and cross it over, tapping to the mat here. Notice this deep stretch in the hip. Just moving through those big hip joints. And then when you're done with that, find prayer hands again. And let's just sit back and find a wide-legged seat. Take a breath in, sit tall. And then exhale, let's fold toward the middle of the legs. Maybe you take a moment to grab your paper and what you wrote down, just read it through. Every exhale, you release one of those things you listed. Beautiful, let's roll up. Find our cross-legged seat again. Place the hands over the chest. Feel the warmth of the palm against the sternum. Maybe shrugging the shoulders up, back and down. Eyes are either rested shut or open. It's perfect. And you just take this moment with yourself. Notice how it feels to come back, to recenter. And I hope that you go about the rest of your day and your week with love. Until next time, bye for now.